Good evening, once again, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of 10 Minutes with Ronald, the show that nobody asked for, yet somebody is watching. I'm your host, Ronald Young Jr., aka Ohitsbigron, and I am here with the final episode of the Parenting series. And as you notice, I have no one here to my left as my guest. But what I do have tonight... I'm sorry, I'm laughing because my guest is very, very ready to begin the show and also very tired. I'm sorry, so she's been a little more irritable than normal. So we are taping a little earlier than we normally do. Normally we start at 8:45, so we're starting at 8. But today we are doing parents of college-aged children as well as parents of adults. This is our final episode, and I thought who better to talk about parenting than whom I consider to be the ultimate parent. They can't see you. Stop clapping, Marilyn.
Oh, sorry.
Lord. All right, and Marilyn's my producer. Say hi, Marilyn. No, don't come on camera. Say it from there.
Oh, hey, what's up?
All right. So today,
That was really mean.
Marilyn, can you see the comments? Are you
Yeah,
reading,
I'm
watching the video?
comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are people watching?
Yes, they're people.
Tell them I said hello. Hello, people.
Ronald says hello.
Marilyn, they can't hear you from there.
Oh, sorry.
So we start with the ultimate parent, the illustrious, my very own mother, Mrs. Peggy Lee Young.
Woo! Go on!
Hello.
Welcome. We're laughing because I've been here for about 45 minutes, and the entire time she has been ready to go to bed. So I really appreciate you doing this and coming on the show. And coming on the show. I really appreciate that.
Okay.
So how have you been? How's your day been?
Long.
No. So it's going to be that theme the whole time?
It started at 4 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
What'd you do when you woke up?
What do you mean? What did I do when I woke up? We got up, we prayed, we drank coffee, we go to the gym. Normal stuff.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. That's what parents do.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, all right. So I won't make my mother uncomfortable anymore. What we are doing here is we're talking about your experiences when it comes to parenting, college-age students as well as adults. So you are a parent. Clearly, you are my mother. This is my mother again, and you have been my parent for all of my life.
You think?
So tell me a little bit about. Well, let's start small. So, if you had any grand topic or grand reflection on parenting, what would you say if you could sum it all up in a nutshell? Your experiences with parenting.
Well, it doesn't end. It's not going to end. It's ongoing. As long as we both have breath in our body, it's ongoing. And it's not for the faint at heart. You just keep trying.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
They don't come with manuals.
Oh, yes. I think we say that all. I think my mom said that all the time. I think occasionally me and my sister will get together and we'll talk about the times when maybe we were overparented. And my mom always says, parenting didn't come with a manual.
Yeah.
There is no manual for parenting, which is absolutely true. And I think it's something I didn't understand until as I was talking with my other sets of parents who talked about how they were planning to be parents as they were having young children. All that went out the window. So let's talk about that a little bit as it comes to you dealing with your children transitioning from teenager. You got them, you got one that's an AB kind of C student, and I'm talking about me, not Marilyn. I'm talking about me. Calm down. And you got one already in college.
Right.
So you kind of got your foot in both worlds at this point.
Right.
Talk a little bit about your reflections as a parent at that point. Like, how do you feel? You have one in college and you got one you're about to usher out the door. How do you manage all that?
Well, it's kind of difficult because you have to let go. So you have to let go, and when the one that's going off to college, you have to, kind of parent from a distance. And that's kind of difficult to parent from a distance, especially when it's just cell phones, or back then when Marilyn went off, she didn't have a cell phone the first year, so we would have to call the dorm looking for her,
That's fun.
which was challenging.
When you say looking for her, what do you mean? Like you couldn't find her?
Lord
Was she
have
lost?
mercy.
Just wondering where she was. We would call and leave messages, and you call the room, and then 8, 9, 10 o'clock rolls around, no one's called us back. Then about 1 o'clock in the morning, we get a call.
Oh, what o'clock in the morning? What a poor child. But go ahead.
So that's kind of challenging, because we've hoped that we've taught you all everything that you need, before you go out there into the world. And staying out till all hours of the night or early in the morning is not one of the things that we taught. But we realize that we have to let you go, and you're going to go and do what you want to do anyway. So that's hard for us as a parent. You're 3 hours away, 4 hours away. We just can't reach out and touch you and grab you and pull you back in. We just hope and pray at that point at 1 o'clock in the morning, oh God, don't let them do something stupid.
So,
Tell Wayne to shut it.
who?
Wayne Burton.
Juan Burton.
Juan
What did he
Burton.
say?
He said 1 a.m. equals fast.
Wait. Okay, if we could just back up for a second.
Yes.
Mom's
No,
gonna
I
love this.
understand
No, I know.
that.
Yeah, she does. So,
Yeah.
but you missed last week. I talked to Juan Burton,
Right.
and Juan Burton says, and he's gonna love this. Juan Burton said his biggest fear was that his daughter would become. And as he was saying it, I felt it coming up, because you have to watch this if you go back. And I said, oh, he doesn't want his daughter to be fast. And as I thought it, he said, my biggest fear is that my daughter would be fast. He said fast, and I said, I'm sorry. What does that mean? And as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, my mom would love this.
Oh yeah, you don't want them,
Well, what's your definition of fast?
Oh boy.
Say it without looking at Marilyn.
Well, she's not fast. She's just willful.
Yeah.
Marilyn is. Fast is these little girls that. Oh.
No, go for it. No, I'm just reacting. Keep going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So fast to me are the little girls that just go out there with, advertising, and they just, have too much out, and they want to be with all the boys, and they want to do whatever they want to do, and they just don't rein themselves in. They don't have any respect for themselves.
Okay.
That to me would be fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a loose woman.
Well, they're not women yet.
Okay.
I would, if I was.
So a loose girl. She's loose.
I would just call
Loose.
I would just call them
Loose here.
silly women.
Silly women.
Silly.
You went
yeah.
biblical on me.
Yeah.
I know what silly women means. That's called a dog whistle for our Christian fans. Look up dog whistle. It's not bad. Nothing bad.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so we're talking a little bit more. So you have, to rein it back in, you were talking about Marilyn being in college. So I'm at home at
Right.
this point.
Right.
So how did you feel like your feelings towards Marilyn? Do you think that affected how you viewed me growing up and getting ready to go to college? So because at this point, when Marilyn was a freshman in college, I was a sophomore in high school.
Right.
So kind of a pivotal time for, I guess, for a boy. I mean, I think I was about maybe 15, 16 years old.
Right. So you think we? Okay. So.
Do you think that it did? This is just speculation.
Well, Marilyn was already gone, and you were getting ready to go, and I thought you were more prepared to go than Marilyn was prepared to go at the time. I think that had I to do it over again, I would have kept Marilyn closer. I would have let her go to school here 2 years and then sent her away for the next 2 years, had I to do it over again. But you as a guy, I think we didn't have so much fear for you because you're a guy. It wasn't like you were going to go out and get pregnant. Or you as
And if I did, there'd be a totally different set of circumstances that we would need to discuss.
Yeah, so that's I don't think we were so afraid for you. I think at that time I had confidence that you were going to go to school and do good. That's what I felt.
Do you think that any of that might have had to do with the examples that Marilyn was setting forth?
Yeah.
Because now that I saw someone go to college,
Yeah.
you just gonna be washing dishes? My dad is also here, and he's just washing dishes in the other room, like we're not live right now. Lord.
I'm making coffee.
All right, thank you, Dad. All right, but do you feel
And you
that
turned the water back
he's
on?
back to washing dishes?
How
All
do you
right.
can't turn the water on?
He's making coffee. He's not washing dishes. All right, this is his house. This is y'all's house. So, all right. Sometimes your dad got to make coffee. What can you what can you say? Is the feed still going?
Yes, it's
Okay.
fine.
All right. So at this point, you have two of us both in college. I'm sorry, you have one of us in college and the other one. And I said, do you think that me seeing Marilyn going to college and seeing your interaction with her maybe prepared me more for college?
Well, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think this. I think that you watching Marilyn and the things that Marilyn did
Mm-hmm.
and kind of seeing the mistakes that she made,
Jesus, help us. I'm sorry, go on.
to seeing the mistakes that she made, you kind of, were learning from that. So it's all, I mean, that I think helped you.
Okay.
It did help you. Not saying that you were,
Oh, no. We're going to get to that in a second, though.
Yeah,
We're going to
you-
hold off on that.
you were not the golden
All
child.
right. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Talk
So-
about it.
So what I was going to say was maybe one thing that we noted was that so I was home to see your reaction to what Marilyn was
Yeah.
doing. So I think for me, when I went to college,
Right.
I kind of had a better grasp on what not answering the phone or what not calling
Yeah.
did. So for me, it was a little more calculated. Where I think for Marilyn, it was inadvertent. I don't think Marilyn was trying to make you guys worry or anything like that.
Right.
Neither was I at some point, but I think also at some point, I think you spoke earlier off camera about us recognizing the ringtone and ignoring it.
Yes.
And me knowing when I should maybe ignore that versus when I needed to answer in college.
Yes, very good.
As far as your reaction, so at this point, how do you think it works as far as molding our minds? Because at that point we're older, and it's almost like you start to feel like maybe your effect isn't as great as you thought it was. Were there any surprises that you had during that time where, oh, they were listening at 17, 18? Because they're listening at 5, 6,
Right,
7.
right.
But are there times like later in life where you're like, oh, wow, they really were listening to what I said?
Yeah, I think there were some points, but I think that those points didn't come until maybe third and fourth year
Okay.
of college
Mm-hmm.
that they came. That you guys would say something, or something would go on in your room, at your dorm room, and you would give advice to some
Mm-hmm.
of your peers. You would give advice to them. And I think one time you even called back and said, you felt yourself, sounding like your mother.
Oh, yes.
On talking to some
Many a
of your
time.
friends.
Many a time.
Yeah. So those types of, I at those points I thought, yeah, they are listening.
Okay.
But it's still, the thing is that we're still a little apprehensive, because when you were little at 5, and when you were 10, and when you were 12, we could reach out and touch you and say, no, don't do that, or try to explain why you can't do that. But when you're away from us and we can't lay our eyes or our hands on you, mostly our hands. Well, that's what was nerve wracking to us, is
Okay.
that we couldn't get to you really quickly, and we wanted, what every parent wants is to protect their children, even after they're adults. We want to protect you from pitfalls.
Keep talking.
We don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to, to go through the same things we went through. Is he grinding coffee?
He's grinding coffee beans, people.
Oh my God, Ronald. You can't do that.
All right, keep talking.
Okay. So, what was I saying?
You said at some point you were away from you, so you have to remote parent us. You can't
Yeah.
put your hands on us, but
Yeah.
you mostly want to put your hands on
And,
us.
we don't want you to go through what we went through.
Okay.
We want to protect you as much as we can. And when we would tell you something, we would tell you, give you advice, and we had to realize, well, we can talk to them, but we can't make them do anything. We from this distance, when we were close up, we could
Yeah.
jack you up.
Yeah.
But from a distance, we could just talk to you. Ultimately, you had to make the decision yourselves. So.
Do you think that at some point, do you think that maybe your interactions with the world and how you guys were when you were our age at 18, 19, 20
Yeah.
affected how you thought that we would do as far as interacting with the world? So meaning that
Yeah.
whatever mistakes or the things that you guys made, was it just mainly you saying, I don't want them to do that?
No, I think That too, yes, that too. But you guys were light years ahead of us because for one thing,
Well, that was because of you.
yeah,
Okay.
but you were like, yes, but still you were light years ahead of us in that fact that you were going off to college. You were going off to college out of high school. We made some detours along the way, right? Ultimately, we got back to college.
Absolutely.
But we made detours on it. But you were going straight from our home, our shelter, from the covering of our prayers, going, and from the covering of the church, you were going straight to out into the world. So our fear was that, the world's gonna tear them to shreds.
Yeah.
That's what we were afraid of, because we thought, because you were so sheltered and protected, and we took care of you, that they're not gonna know. What if someone tells them? What if some guy tells Marilyn, I love you? Did like the time she called me and she was gonna get married?
We're not talking about this.
Oh, skirt. What? We cut. They're just fish. Help me, Mike. Where's Mass Potential when you need him?
I'm sorry, but I had to talk her down.
Yeah.
She didn't handle that very well.
You're not on camera.
I'm sorry.
I was
So much laughter.
I was so amazed. I was so devastated. I was like hysterical when I got this call from her. She was going to go marry this guy.
Yeah.
I got this call and it was hysterical on the inside, but I don't know. It was the Holy Ghost that made me just, turn it around. Oh, Marilyn, we wanted to be there with you when you got married. We wanted to walk you. Your dad wants to give you away. And I said, you don't want to do it right now. It'll be okay. This guy will come back. And she didn't get married. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, she was planning to go marry that guy that weekend. That weekend.
Whoa, what? That's news to me. We're going to talk about this later. Monday morning. Yeah. Lord. All right.
Yeah.
We need to pivot. Go ahead.
I don't even think I told Dad about that.
No, neither did. Oh, my dad didn't know either. This is breaking Ohitsbigron news on 10 Minutes with Ronald. My sister was almost married. So you guys are all finding out when we were. Hey, don't get mad at me, because you didn't tell us the news.
No,
you know what? This is you all.
Follow-up episode, 10 Minutes with Ronald Sr.
Oh, Jesus.
You should have given me a script.
Yeah. The Bible says take no scripts or no stage, but I think I got a revision on this one.
13 years ago.
All right.
Oh, but that was yeah.
So okay. So that being said, so at this point, you're trying to get us to, and I think at one point you're talking about us going out in the world and being chewed up.
Right.
And I think you guys had the difference, because you guys were like when Dad was in high school, he was hanging people off roofs and doing all that stuff. So he was out there already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for us, we've actually have this new rhythm of being in a nuclear family, mother, father, children, and going all, and where we're in an area where the standard, like we went to Hayfield, the standard was you go to college.
Right.
Like the people that went and did work is like, work, what job, where are you going to work? Like, you got to go to college. Like, that was a standard that we knew. So then after that, we get through college with some bumps and bruises, and we get through, we get out, we both successfully graduate. At some point, we become adults. And I think that's when parenting gets the most trickiest. Right. And so how do you navigate between dealing with two adults and dealing with your two children when they are both one and the same?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is challenging, because we can only, at this point, we realize that we can only offer advice. We know that you're only going to listen to us. You'll hear what we say, but ultimately you're going to do what you want to do. So I think that over the years we've just learned that you're adults, and we will tell you, okay, we can give you advice, but we're going to say, you know what you're doing. And usually when we said, you know what you're doing, in the back of your brain, you did not know what you were doing. And I think intentionally we would say that, so that you would stop and think about what you were doing, because, again, you're an adult and we can't make you do anything. We just hope that, that you...
You can't spank him at 32, Dad.
So we just hope that you guys will make prudent choices, wise choices.
Understood.
Choices. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say for instance now, so you've probably taken on more of the role of advisor.
Yeah.
So where do you go between so when we're children, we go to Target and I need to buy my dad a birthday gift and I clearly don't have money and I'm like, I want that, and you're like, all right, you pull the money out of your pocket, you're like, go pay for it.
Right.
You've helped me at that point.
Right.
And maybe you've advised me on which one to get. As adults, where do you go between the line of they need help or they need to figure this out on their own because they are an adult? Like, how do you navigate that line?
That's kind of difficult. Typically, depending on what the decision is or what choice you're getting ready to make, I will hold my peace and wait until you come and ask me. Now, some stuff, we can't say anything about. We want to say something, but what we've learned also is that if, and I'm probably giving away all my secrets right now.
Go for it. Hey, we're adults. We're all adults here.
So,
adult-themed show.
So if I learned that the more I pressed the issue, the more dug in you became and adamant about doing it your own way. So I would just
Ron, don't wear T-shirts. He's wearing T-shirts all the time now. He got a T-shirt suit. He's wearing T-shirts every time I see him. That's a dress T-shirt. What's wrong with this guy?
So the more we would press you, the more dug in you would, and more adamant you would become to do it your own way. So we kind of would let up. We would let up. And then when you would come and ask us something, we would say, we would give you again sage advice. We would say, well, you can do it this way or you can do that, but the choice is ultimately yours. And then we would say, well, you know what you're doing. We really hoped you did know
We did know what you were doing.
We did hope that. I hope that answered the question.
Absolutely. So do you think that there's anything, so for people who have like babies and children now, and I know you said it doesn't end, but can you go into that a little deeper and talk about how parenting transitions as you go forward, especially when you talk about, and it's probably going to get a little rambly, but when you talk about like managing your expectations and your disappointments as the decisions that they make, is there some great payoff in the end? Or is there something that, you hope for your child at 5 and then you see your child at 32 and you're like, you know what, we did all right.
Right.
Talk about those moments a little bit.
Well, ultimately, what we want for you all is you to be healthy. We want you to be happy. We want you to have good jobs. We want you to be able to pay your bills. And, we want you to be able to survive on your own when we're out of...
You guys can't hear this, but my dad is peanut gallerying off camera in the other room.
Johnny says, ask Elder Young a few questions.
So he's chiming in a little bit. So we might bring him in later. But knowing him, he's like, I don't want to be on camera. He wants to just yell from the background. But go ahead. So have good jobs, successful, stay in your apartment, all that.
Yeah. We want you to be successful. And in this day and age, it's kind of hard because a lot of adults are coming back home to live with their parents. I mean, a lot of adults
coming home to live with their parents.
Coming home to live with their parents because of job markets or whatever. They're doing that. But our prayer, when we see you guys taking responsibility for yourself, when we see you go and buy 4 tires, when we see you go and, call the tow truck and have them come and get you off the road, when we see you, I can't go on this trip because I need to pay for this, then we feel like we have, you're becoming adults. You're making the proper choices, the right choices, the more adult choice, not the popular one, because it's not always popular. But being an adult is not always popular. But we also want, even if you're an adult now, you make your own decisions, we still don't mind you calling us and asking us, what do we think? You ask us, what do we think? We're going to help you out. And if ever you got in a bind, we're not going to let you sit on the streets, on the street corner. We will bring you home. But, that to us is a good thing, is when we see you making the proper choices and not being frivolous.
So this one, and I want you to answer this one honestly, because I don't want you to worry about hurting me or Marilyn's feelings. Is there ever a sense of disappointment at the times when we've been adults, when you've had to swoop in and save us? Yeah.
There's been several of those occasions where we had to do that. And I'm looking back on it, we had to preach sermons. I mean, we just had to go all in, and we hated to do it. I mean, in hindsight, as I look back, I just couldn't understand for the life of me. Why would you go buy that? You didn't have money, whatever the situation was. For the life of us, we couldn't understand why we would make that decision. So, but we were there, and we would come in because we didn't want to see you fail. We didn't want to see you. So we would come, and we would always want you to come and ask. That was our fears, that you wouldn't come and ask. But we would want you to come and ask in the beginning of the situation, instead of waiting until they repossessed the house, the cow, the farm.
Yes, I had a cow. I had a cow. We had a cow at a farm. Cow farm. That's all this is about. Cow farming. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Thank you for censoring yourself. So that being said, when you talk about those types of disappointments, I think what I'm hearing you say is that you would much rather us come to you on the front end and get advice, make a good decision, rather than, not heed your advice, make a bad decision, and then you need to bail us out.
Right.
Has there ever been a time where you thought that by bailing us out, you were doing more damage than help?
Well, I don't think so. I don't think we thought we were doing more damage, but we definitely would give you a sermon. So
it's basically we're going to help you, but if you don't learn this lesson, I'm going to kill you.
No, you're just going to hear us preach again. I mean, we have cleaned out our savings account, on several occasions for both of you. So.
All right. Whoo, it got real in here.
Okay. But we have. We called in all sorts of favors. I think your dad still owes that guy up there in New Jersey. No, I'm teasing.
Oh my God. I almost had to turn off the camera. I'd be like, nope, stop. Get in the car. We're going to go pay this guy right now.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. 10 minutes with Ronald where it stays real in here. Oh my God. All right. So understanding that parenting, oh my God.
Somebody by the name of Luigi.
All right. Whew. Okay. We're past it. So anyway, so understanding that you guys, so what I'm hearing you saying is that parenting entails sacrifice deep into the adulthood of your child.
Yes.
And I think that that was the whole purpose of the parenting series, actually.
Right.
So the whole framing device was around was interviewing my mom at the end.
Right.
Because the whole thing was I wanted to get to the point where, because I think I have a lot of friends and people that have kids and that they take kids at their baby pictures and all that stuff. But when I think about the relationship I have with my parents now, I think it's more important for everyone who has young kids and teenage kids to realize that this is something that never ends if you continue to foster this relationship going forward.
Right.
And that's not to say that we don't still have rough patches now and that you guys don't get upset by decisions or I get upset with y'all or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think it's different now because I think now when you were kids, you got upset with your parents for withholding stuff from you. You know what I mean? But I think now there's been times now where we've had disagreements where it's I think this and you're like, well, I think this. Yeah. And it's well, she's my mom, but I'm upset about this. You know what I mean? And I think that gets a little more tricky as you get old. How do you deal with when it comes to things like that, fundamental wow, I really just don't agree with my son or I don't agree with Marilyn on this issue?
Well, I just don't agree, and it's okay because, and I'll say that, well, I don't agree with that, and I've told you that often. I've said some things, Marilyn and I were having a kind of intense conversation today about a wedding, and we didn't agree.
No, we did agree.
Okay.
I think we didn't agree on the nuances. We agreed.
Yeah. Okay, we agree.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's okay. I don't mind not agreeing. I, as a matter of fact, I want you to have your own mind and your own thoughts. Your dad and I want you to have your own mind and thoughts because then no one will bamboozle you.
Yeah.
You'll make your decisions and you're responsible for the decisions that you make and the choices that you make. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've asked everything that I've wanted to ask at this point.
Viewers.
Oh, 23 viewers. We just beat Jessica. me and Jessica as live views.
I'm taking
We'll see what the.
questions now.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna take questions live at this point. So let's look at the comments and see what we have. Mass potential. One time for black folks going to college. You can do it. It's excellent. Let's see. They are never listening at 5, 6, 7. That is absolutely true to you. What'd you say, Dad? Oh, Bishop Fields is watching. Shout out to Pastor Fields. I see you. Let's see. Reach out and touch
You
it.
guys did listen to us at 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, that's because you was always under threat of violence.
That is
right.
not true.
You look so cute, mommy. Let's see. Tari Basil, I was just thinking, why isn't she in bed? She's up before me.
I know, it's way past my bedtime.
Look at Juan. Overparenting begets not being fast. I see you, Juan, and my mother likes it.
Oh,
Yeah, you know what? I want to comment to that. Ronald did say something about overparenting. I want to know what he meant by that.
Oh,
Get him.
So I think there might have been times when we were kids where you guys, and when we were younger, I would say, where you guys stuck to a bedrock principle or something and I don't think you guys would do that now.
Okay.
Like, for instance, I think there were football games, basketball games, stuff that we didn't get to go to.
Right.
Not necessarily because they were bad or anything, but because it was just basically like, well, you ain't got no business being out there. What you gonna do out there? You ain't doing nothing. It was basically, it turned into this thing where it's like, if they're in the house, they're okay. So
Right.
there's no need for them to go to this basketball game or this football game.
See, I don't remember these occasions. I don't, which is okay.
Oh, all right. Convenient.
No. I don't remember this, but I do remember a time when between you and I when it got really tense in here. And this was when you graduated.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes, that was tough.
It was because you wanted to go to
The all-night grad party.
You wanted to go to the party, and we said no. Now
Yeah.
that, if you calling that overparenting, then yes, we were overparenting.
Well, I will say this. I honestly think that today, you in the same situation, you would let me go. And the reason why I say this is because...
Overnight?
Yes. And I'll say why. No, let me tell you why. I don't think you knew what the all-night grad party...
We're going to agree to
Hold on,
disagree
wait, you
on
have to
this.
hear the whole thing, Mom. I don't think you actually knew what the all-night grad party was.
Right.
So I think in your mind, I said all-night grad party, and what you heard was like a bunch of hormonal teenagers
Yes.
at someone's house,
Yes.
like with music going and punch playing and all that stuff. And I don't think I
And
explained
drinks.
and drinks and all that
And
stuff.
drugs.
And nonsense, yes. But hedonism, nonsense,
Yes.
the worst possible situation
Right.
for us. But
Yes.
actually looking back on it, when I realized what it was, somebody explained to me. I was like, I definitely didn't explain that to them. So the all-night grad party was a school-sponsored event in which it was basically like a carnival in which like the parents actually put it together and the parents all chaperoned it. So you go and you basically, it was like a last-minute thing. Yes, it was like a
Well, he
last-minute
didn't say that to
Yeah,
us.
see, but that's what
You didn't want us to go.
No,
I don't think you
no.
wanted us to.
It wasn't about you not going or not, but I
Had
think.
you
but
said-
wait, but Mom, I want you to give you your argument because I never
Okay.
forgot this. You said Christians ain't got no business partying all night, and I was like, at that point, I was like, I felt like there was no argument against it,
Well, you did.
and I don't
not
think you would say that today.
But you did not explain it to me in that fashion.
That's
son.
true, yes.
No, you
That's
didn't.
true, I
You
did
said,
not.
I want to go to the all night grad party.
See,
and we said,
and our impressions of each other are not are not on right now because I don't talk like that. I definitely don't like that when I talk.
that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
But that night, you sat up all night long and
Yeah.
dismantled your room.
Yeah.
You packed up everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the atmosphere was so thick in here, we could have sliced it and served it up.
Yeah.
But you stayed put.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
didn't go
didn't
anywhere.
go.
Yeah.
But it was thick.
Yeah. It was rough.
It was rough. I
Yeah.
could tell you.
Yeah.
Here, honey,
Dad, you came in and prayed for me.
oblivious.
Yeah, he was in it. No, he was. I think it was all hands on deck there.
No.
Marilyn was in there. I was like, everybody was there. Yeah.
It was tense.
Yeah.
It was really tense, but we made it through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like, but growing up with that, I feel like it definitely changed how I approached you guys as far as information.
Yeah.
It almost was better like coming forward and saying, listen, there's this event going on. Here are the parameters. This is
Yeah.
everything going on. Granted, like when I got to college, it like changed a little bit. And
Yeah.
I remember, here's another example. When I came back from college, we never had curfews because we didn't go out.
Right.
And so I remember I came back and I said to you, and I was like, I was in the house, and I just got back from college my first semester, and you said, all right, son, so I know you're used to staying out all night when you're out there, but when you're here, you're going to have a curfew, okay? So I need you in the house by midnight. And I remember at the time, I was like, oh, snap, a midnight curfew? Yes, I can't believe it. But you don't understand, like, when I realized, like I was like, wait, this is not going to work.
No.
Like, I mean, because at one point, I mean, it was senior year of college, and I'm like 23, and it's like still a midnight curfew. And I was like, Mom, I mean, you can be like 1 or 2, because the only thing I was doing at that point was going to movies.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh God, can't go to the 10 o'clock show, and that's not what we until 12. So, but I think again, like I feel like what you guys have demonstrated since then is that with reasonable explanation, you guys are like as flexible as anybody else.
Yeah, we would. But if you
However, hold on, I'm gonna note this, and I'll let you chime in. However, one thing I did also, I never realized this until I would say the last 3 to 5 years, was that you guys got saved, got the Holy Ghost, got in church minutes before Marilyn and I were born, essentially. Marilyn was in diapers. Yeah, but Marilyn was in diapers.
Yes.
So that like radically changed everything.
Right.
Now this is now people might not like this, but I feel like that being said, even your views on holiness, even your views on church, holiness, being saved, all that have also shifted with your growth in Jesus Christ.
Right.
And I think because of that, that's why your views have changed on stuff. Back then, it was just like, hey, white wall tires, we ain't having them. You're going to hell. Red tires, we ain't having them. You're going to hell. You're not doing it up in here, you know? Whereas now you guys understand nuance a little more than. But I think at the time, like, I think about it like as a newly saved person, like, you're going to try to direct your kids in that way. So I don't, like, I literally don't besmirch y'all for any of those decisions that you made, like, growing up. Especially since knowing you guys now and knowing the people you are now, you know what I mean? Especially since I know this.
You got a question?
Yeah, what was your question? Go ahead.
Anthony Robinson wants to know, did your mom ever disapprove of your friends?
My friends, no, because I never really had any, like, I don't think I ever brought any suspicious characters around. I was in band, you know, I was in SGA, so I was in stuff where you really didn't have strange characters. I never brought any strange characters home. Now,
You want to talk about Marilyn's friend?
I really don't want to because I know Marilyn takes it personally sometimes.
Now bring it on, let's go.
All right, go ahead.
Which friends are we talking about? I don't
I
think.
don't know. He said friends. I don't.
Well, I don't think Ronald. Like I said, like Ronald said, he didn't have. We weren't. You know, you didn't have any sketchy friends.
Yeah, like I had like
but
Leave It to Beaver friends.
Yeah, it wasn't until Marilyn started bringing these sketchy people home from college. You know, a couple times we lay eyes on these people, and they just didn't come back.
13 years ago. 13 years ago.
No, I mean girls or guys. Are you talking about guys? Is this what we're talking about? Are we talking about friends or are we talking about dudes? Oh yeah, well that same dude was what?
Oh.
No.
Okay,
no.
let's go find some more friendlier questions.
Yes, no.
Let's see. Help, Lord. Don't want babies dancing on the table. I see you, Tia. Let's see. Loose. I see you, Johnny. Can boys be fast? Yes, Tia,
yes.
but we use a different word for that.
Hose, Dad.
I don't know what that word is. All right.
Marcus
But he
Hall
can still
says,
make a baby. Tia, stop arguing with my mother. No, you're right. Men can also make a baby.
He has a question.
Who does?
Who were your parents harder on? You or your sister?
I think they were definitely harder on Marilyn.
Yes.
However, I want to give
hard-headed though.
No, two things. I want to give these two things. One, Marilyn was always like a willful, headstrong child that was always going forward. Two, Marilyn was a girl, which like with all the all of the packaging, all of the baggage that brings, like being a child and the way our views of women and how they should be raised and all that plays into it. That's two. And three, she was their first child.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people don't understand that those three factors played into it. Because everything, me and Marilyn is my best friend. So everything that Marilyn did growing up, I was able to, even stuff that she explicitly told me, I was able to see from her action and example what not to do. No disrespect.
No.
Because there were some things that sometimes Marilyn did stuff, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like Marilyn forged her signature, got her signature forged. I forged my signature. However, I didn't write mommy. Like Marilyn wrote mommy when she forged her signature. I actually tried to, you know what I'm saying? Like, but we've all but watching Marilyn, I think that's the only reason why I made the adjustment. So I think a lot of times, and I don't know if you ever think this, Marilyn, but I don't ever think I was a better child than you. I just
No,
think I
he
had
was
I think I had a
no
good
way.
example to learn from.
And
that's
he
all.
was just
I'm
more
like,
sly.
not gonna do that. Yes.
He was more sly with what he did.
Yes.
It reminded me of the Pampers commercial where that one kid, they did all this for the other kid. They were just like, all right,
Yeah.
put these newspapers on, you'll be fine.
Yeah, like I remember, like for instance, the thing. Here's the types of things I would do. Like I've checked the mail once recently, but I didn't. I used to check the mail every day. I was the guy that went and checked the mail. My
Yes.
parents would give me the keys. I would go check the mail. I'd bring it in. They'd sort it, and I got fired from that job because in 8th grade I stole the interims.
Yes.
And this, let me tell you how slick I was. Still like low level, proud of myself. When I no.
Many years.
All right, but anyway, I stole the interims, and knowing that I couldn't just steal mine, I stole Marilyn's too.
Proud of him.
And it's funny because Marilyn, I showed her interims, and I remember even at the time, Marilyn was like, "All right, well, I'm not in this." I was like, "That's fine, I'll take the heat." Got rid of them, destroyed the evidence. When my dad found out, he was like, "Yo, I asked around. I know the interims were supposed to be here. Where are the interims?" I'm like, "Hey, man, I don't know." Eventually,
He didn't say, "Hey, man."
I was like, "Hey, dude, let me say something, man. You better raise up off me. I don't know, you know."
Hey, father.
Because me and my dad had that type of relationship. But anyway, it was uncovered that it was me. It was
Yes.
uncovered that it was me, and I was fired from the. But that was the type of stuff that I would do. I'd be
Yeah.
like, all right, Marilyn did it like this. I need to find a way to do the same thing and fly under the radar, and hopefully
Yeah.
they won't notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was more like reconnaissance. She just went out there. She stepped on all the lines.
Yeah.
Landmines
More like a
for
test
you.
pilot more than
yeah,
recon.
she just went
Yeah.
out there and she just stepped on everything.
She really
where
did.
When you saw, oh, that's not how you do that.
Yeah.
This is how we will do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 So, but I think again, Marilyn she's still very headstrong.
Mm-hmm.
She is like a woman, and because she was the first.
Yes.
So, and I think that's the only reason
And
why
we're
there is
more
a
protected.
difference. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see. Marilyn made all the mistakes.
What happened?
Mass Potential is messing with
Michael
you.
is a bomb.
Yo, hey, give her that shirt. You owe her that shirt now.
Thank you.
Was there ever a time when I did everything right?
You said your question was leading, and that's what it pretty much said. You were asking me.
Oh, God. All right. Is that all the questions?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, I thank you so much for being on the show.
Yay.
It's 8:45 when I would normally start, so we're about to put you to bed, so you're going to be good. To all of my viewers out there, I just want to let you guys know this is the last.
27 tonight.
Really,
Yeah,
this is the last. This is the highest rated show we've had so far. Hopefully on YouTube we get the same reaction. I just want to tell everybody that starting next week we're changing our format. We're going to go away. We're going to pivot away from the series format. We're going to go back to the current events format where we're just reacting to what exactly is happening in society now. I think people like that a little more. People are a little alienated by the parenting formats because they didn't necessarily have kids. But I think this episode definitely struck a nerve with somebody out there. So please watch and subscribe. Share, go on YouTube, talk about it. Do we have another question?
Anthony Robinson asked, oh gosh, I don't know what he said. It went away. And Marcus Hall says hi.
Hi.
Hey, Marcus. Anthony said
Oh,
what?
he says, are you more like your mom or dad?
I think there's too many aspects of both for him to say if I'm like one or the other. Because I feel like instinctually, I am like my dad. Like normally my first instinct, my first reaction is to react like my father would to a situation.
Yeah.
However, if I actually, when I actually put thought into it, when I'm thinking about it, when I've had time to like consider it, I feel like I ponder and logic and reason more like my mother. So I think it like depends on both. But like knee jerk reaction, like if it's like, hey, Ron, how you feel about that? I'd be like, that's little. You know what I mean? Why are we still talking? You know what I mean? But if I've had like a nice night's sleep and I thought about it and all that, it's like, all right, well, let me tell you first of all, like, completely different. You know what I mean? So I think that's important.
Oh boy.
Ladine says hi from New Jersey.
Hi from New Jersey.
So again, next week
Yes.
we'll go back to Tuesdays at 8:45. Please tune in. If you don't watch live, watch on Facebook. Watch on YouTube. We got some more things coming. I don't know if you guys seen. The logo's been coming out. Go to Ohitsbigron.com. I'm still reviewing movies out there. We're about to go into the Oscar season, so we'll see more of those popping up there. So look for those. Do you have any final thoughts or anything you'd like to share before we let you go?
Big Ron, thanks for having me on your show.
You are more than welcome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And when you're rich and famous, don't forget us little people.
I definitely won't, because apparently I just realized I owe you money and I need to talk to a guy in New Jersey. All right. So that's it. So again, this has been another exciting episode of 10 Minutes with Ronald, the show that nobody asked for, yet somebody is watching.
Yay.
Thanks for viewing.
Bye-bye.